Good morning. It's indeed a great pleasure and honor for me to participate in this year and special gathering of MIPIMs. On behalf of Islamic Development Bank Group and its private sector arm, Islamic Corporation of Development Private Sector, ICD, I would like to express my deep appreciation and gratitude to the organizer for inviting me to speak on the role of Islamic finance and its contribution to the real sector market, especially social housing sector. Over the period of recent financial crisis, the Islamic finance industry has remained relatively intact from the negative consequences of this phenomenon. But what is it that makes Islamic finance more safeguarded than conventional means of financing? And why do we see it more equitable and efficient way of financing compared to the Western business model? Here I would like to elaborate a bit on 5 unique characteristics of the Islamic finance. First, in Islamic law, any level of interest is considered usurious and is prohibited. This is why the business and trade activity should generate fair and legitimate profit. Here one could realize a close link between the financial flow, the real sector of the economy, and the productivity, one of the main causes of the current global financial crisis. Second, in Islamic finance, uncertainty in contractual terms and conditions is not allowed, unless all terms and conditions of the risk are clearly understood by all parties. Third, parties involved in an Islamic financial transaction must share both the associated profit and risk. It is this profit and risk sharing feature of Islamic finance transaction that requires a higher level of disclosure and transparency in the Islamic financing system. Fourth, in the Islamic finance, the ethical investment criteria is required in any financial transaction. Islamic finance does not allow for investment in certain type of activities and in certain sectors. Fifth and finally, the investment are backed by real assets. Each Islamic financial transaction must be tied to a tangible and identifiable asset. Under Islamic law, money is not considered to be an asset. If this was the case in conventional finance, the issue of subprime mortgage would not have happened. Here I'm glad to see that the real estate sector is a real and tangible assets. On the real estate sector, ICD has allocated 16% of its portfolio for different real estate projects in its member countries. The main achievement in this regard is to create a model company, a real estate development company, which we did in Saudi Arabia. We call it E1, that specifically focus only on housing. We call it affordable housing. We try to avoid the term social housing. It's directed to the middle income housing. And it's also, we are in the process of establishing a global fund. We call it a global affordable housing fund that will be global in nature in terms of activities, will be directed to several countries, membership of ICD and non-membership of ICD, but the focus will be in affordable housing. This fund will be investing with the developers, so this is something that developers may take note of. The objective of the fund is to invest in affordable housing along the investors or the developers. Let me now turn my attention to the real estate sector and social housing in specific. I believe that the social housing sector and development concept are mutually supportive and complementary. Social housing always forms an integral part of any government strategy for poverty alleviation and employment generation. Population growth, urbanization, and lower level of income, amongst others, are the driving factors for increasing in demand for social housing. However, challenges such as the gap between per capita income and ability to own a house, lack of housing finance market, access to finance for developers, here it's also it's something that the developers would like to see more, legal property issues and the government support for affordable housing have prevented the governments to successfully meet the demand for new homes and making it possible for individuals to purchase home through social and affordable finance. Due to the widespread financial institutions' failure initiated by the mortgage market collapse in the Western economies, Countries throughout the world have now taken a close look at Islamic finance as a system that has avoided many of the pitfalls associated with the conventional mortgages. Let me now elaborate briefly on different modes of finance for the sector and to show you how a particular mode of finance can promote social housing in different countries. The Islamic financial products are usually developed by applying the appropriate Islamic financial principle that exists in Islam. They are tailor-made to each specific type of transaction in such a way not to contradict with the main principle stated before. The range of Islamic financial products has broadened considerably in recent years in response to the more diverse and differentiated requirement of a potential client. The Islamic financial products have progressed and growing in sophistication, now offering a wider range of products with various product structure, multiple categories of service providers, and a different mix of consumer composition. These products have evolved from basic consumer or retail products into a full range of product offerings, like retail, corporate, project finance, and long-term bond instruments. Under various Islamic contracts, the range of Islamic financial products has diversified to include variable rate-based and equity-based mechanism as well as hedging mechanism. And this has strengthened the risk management capacity of the Islamic financial institution. There are two types of Islamic modes of finance that are commonly known and practiced in financial institutions in the real estate sector. These are ijara, which is leasing, and musharaka mutanaqasa, declining equity modes of finance, which create a relationship between the financier and the consumer. There is another mode of finance called ijara mawsufa fi dhimma, or forward lease, which meets the need of affordable home buyers, developers, and at the same time promote home ownership. In conclusion, I strongly feel that it is essential for all of us to look beyond and treat the development of Islamic finance as an investment in the future. With this in mind, I would like to encourage all of you to look critically at the opportunities that lay before us. Islamic finance is now an asset class that has the potential to bring new economic growth in all countries and all over the world. Finally, I would like to express my sincere desire for a fruitful deliberation in this forum, and I wish the organizer and distinguished participants successful outcomes. Thank you so much.